Okay.
Okay. So your current percentage is score is 54%.
Yes.
Okay. So you are in which task right now?
So I'm still in one. I just put in the category iOS basic retired false. So that will be here.
That is, you are in step 6 or step 5? Which one?
Step five,
Okay.
just step five.
On R1, create an IPS rule, name using the IPS name command in global configuration mode, name the IPS rule, iOS IPS. Okay. So have you, so I think you have a PowerPoint presentation also maybe for this task. Do you have some PowerPoint presentation or something?
No, not for this one.
Okay. So do you know how to execute this command for step 5?
So um, so here we are signature category here. Here, but the only thing that's confusing me is that the signature category, really.
Okay, just 1 minute. Okay, so the task here is on R1, create an IPS rule name using IPS name. So the command syntax here is they have already mentioned here like IP space IPS then space name and then the name that you need to assign is IOSIPS. Okay, so that is the name you have to assign. So the entire command will be IP space IPS space name space IOSIPS. Okay, and you
Okay.
have to execute this in the global config mode.
So here, so okay, so the oh
I think password is given in the starting of the task maybe.
yeah, here.
The enable password is Cisco ENPA55 and the console password is Cisco CONPA55.
That I figured out, no problem with that. So here we have to
EN, type EN for enable password. Okay, you are currently in the privilege mode. So type conf
yeah.
space T or config terminal, whichever. So you are in the global config mode and the syntax is mentioned already. It is IP space IPS space name space iOS IPS.
So IPS.
Yeah,
IP is
space.
Internet Protocol. Internet.
Yeah,
What is that? We are making that name IPS, correct?
yeah. We are assigning a name iOS IPS. That is the name of the IPS rule. So do you know what is IPS?
Internet Protocol.
Here IPS is intrusion prevention system. Okay. So
Okay.
basically, this here we are creating a IPS protocol that is intrusion prevention system signature. Like in the previous step 4, you had a job like on R1 configure IPS signature storage location. So here IPS is intrusion prevention system. It is like in advanced
The
firewall
firewall.
nowadays. Yeah, we have this technology by which we prevent network attacks. When somebody is trying to gain access to our network or to gain access to our system, IPS is that technology which can identify whether some unknown IP is trying to access our network or not. Okay.
So this is how the firewall blocks the IP access, correct?
Yeah, basically, they have some signature database by which, when somebody is trying to access, they match those packet with the signature database. And if something which is unknown, they find something unknown, then they block those access. So basically, it is a part of security architecture that is available in Cisco firewall, as well as we are currently working on a router, not in a firewall. So there also they have this IPS feature nowadays.
Okay.
So this is the task for step 5, and now you have to. So is there any? Okay. So till now, now the next task is step 6.
So here, step 6 would be the signature category. So here, as you mentioned, the category, correct?
No, I think step 6 is enable login. Yeah, this is step 6. We have done with step 5. I think you have completed till step 4, right? Or do I need to check?
The name we have completed to step 4.
Okay, you have completed by yourself step 4.
Okay, yeah.
Can you show me the configuration file with show run to check what you have configured till now?
Is it do show run? Yeah. So here, I have that's why I was getting I think I put it in before I put in this one. So that's why I was getting confused because I do have the date and
Okay, okay. So you have not completed step 4. Is that so?
yeah, I think I put the date and time first because the professor usually says put the date and time first.
Okay.
So yeah,
So the date and time task
was in step
is
6.
step 6. Okay. So let me read. iOS IPS supports the use of syslog to send event notifications. Syslog notification is enabled by
See the
default.
clock. This is the clock set. That's the clock
Okay.
set.
If necessary, use the clock set command from privileged exec mode to reset the clock. Verify that the timestamp service for logging is enabled on the router using the show run command. Enable the timestamp service if it is not enabled. So have you checked whether timestamp? So this is the timestamp as we can see in the show run. No service timestamp, log date time, msec, and no service. So I think it is not set.
It's
Timestamp.
but it's not set properly. That's what I'm.
Okay. So that means we have to again redo step 6. Step 6 needs to be redone. And
So
what about step 4? Have you completed step 4 or till step 4, like step 1, step 2, step 3? Have you done all those steps?
the step 1 we have done this one license boot category. We have
Okay.
done that.
Okay. And then step 2, ping. Have you checked the ping from PCC to PCA?
Yes.
And is it successful?
Yes.
Okay, and the other one is PCA. Okay, the reverse ping. If PCC to PCA works, then definitely
And
PCA to
yeah.
PCC will also work. So have you checked both of them?
Yes. That I've
Okay.
checked both of them.
Now the third one was to create an iOS IPS configuration directory in Flash. So have you created any iOS IPS configuration directory in Flash? Now, have you understood this question? What this question is all about? Create an iOS IPS configuration.
So we're just creating the one that would block the or block or accept the packets.
Now, what is Flash?
So Flash, not sure, but wouldn't that be that command mkdir and then ipsdir? That
This
would
is
be the.
something. This is something related to the hardware of the Cisco router or Cisco switch, whatever it is. In a Cisco router or in a Cisco switch, we have two types of memory. One is uh, a
We
standard memory, which is the RAM, and the other is a non-volatile RAM called NVRAM. Okay, so basically here it is not the one they are talking about. They are basically talking about a flash. Flash means an additional card. It could be like a card, like a USB stick or like a pen drive.
oh, the additional that doesn't come with, correct?
Yeah, yeah, it's a flash memory. It's an additional removable media. So sometimes the network administrator they use the flash to copy some new maybe package or to copy some new configuration which they have taken as a backup in the flash drive or flash memory. So here in step 3, the task is to create a directory in that flash memory using the mkdir. So do you know what is the job of mkdir? What is the purpose of mkdir?
So
Or
MK,
have you ever used mkdir in any of your
no,
classes? Okay.
no. This
So
is
this
first.
is a command. This is a Linux command. The first thing that you need to understand. This is a Linux command. Even I think in DOS also there is an operating system called DOS. In Windows, we have a command prompt. You know that we have a black window where we execute ping command and other IP config command. Right in Windows, we have a DOS prompt. We have a
Terminal
command prompt.
here.
So yeah, so here also, I think mkdir will work. Otherwise, basically mkdir is a Linux command. So we use this command. The full form is make directory. So it is a shorter form
Oh,
of
okay.
make directory. We are creating a directory. And what is a directory? Again, the thing is, directory is similar to folders. Like in
Yeah.
Windows, you have folders. So in Linux, we do not call them folders. We call them directory. So you may have a folder and you may have a subfolder in Windows. Similarly, in Linux, you may have a directory. You may have a subdirectory. So mkdir is the command called make directory. So it is mkdir and then give a space and specify the name of the directory that you want to create or the folder that you want to create. So they have
I
uh,
see.
given us the task that you need to create a directory with the name IPS dir, IPS directory. So this is the folder or you can say directory that we need to create with the mkdir command. That is the task in step 3 and in router 1. Okay.
So we got to that. I think we got to that. That we got to.
Okay. So you have done step 3 and step 4 was configure the IPS signature storage location. Configure the IPS signature storage location. Okay. So have you done step 4 also?
So I think we've done the name, but the signature category, that's when I'm not able to understand where that falls. Would that be in the step 4?
Okay, in step 4, the task is configure the IPS signature storage location to be the directory you just created. Okay, so in the previous task in step 3, you are being asked to create a directory IPS dir. Now,
Yes.
in the second step, in step 4, they are asking you to configure the IPS signature storage location so that the entire IPS signature database should be stored in that particular directory that you have just now created in step 3, which is IPS dir. Okay, so there is a particular command. by which you can configure the router in such a way so that all the IPS configurations or signature will be stored in that particular directory which you have created in the previous step. So the command is, let me give you the command in the chat box. Just 1 minute. It will be IP space IPS. I have given in the chat box.
Oh, so we can see this here, and then check. Interesting. Copy. Will it take? I don't think so.
Yeah, it has taken, because if taken, we should have seen some error message, but there is no error message that appeared. So that means the command has been taken rightfully in the router.
Okay.
You can save the configuration with the do WR and check with do show run.
So I thought the command would be IPS IPS sorry IP IPS config location IPSDR.
No, the thing is the IPSDR is not in, as I mentioned, there are two RAMs by default in the Cisco hardware, in the Cisco router switch. One is the standard RAM and another is a non-volatile RAM. But here we have created the directory in the flash, not in the RAM or not in the non-volatile RAM. It is in a different media called flash media or flash RAM,
Because
flash memory.
I've done that and it's taken, which is interesting.
Yeah, so it has taken, that means it has been saved, the location has been changed. It has been, maybe it has been created in the NVRAM, in the non-volatile RAM, which is there in the hardware. So you should define this command, because here we are specifying that this IPS directory is in the flash. It is not in RAM or it is not in NVRAM, it is in the flash memory only. So this is the correct one.
IPS
IPS
IPS.
dir, which is the directory you created in step 3.
Mm,
Okay. So you can check with do show run, uh, check the command with do show run.
hold on, config location. I have all the steps until now, so that's why
Okay.
that I've done.
So yeah, you can take a note if you have a copy or maybe in a notepad or something.
And then um so it's
You can save the configuration with the do WR since you are in the global config mode.
yeah ES. Okay, so do WR.
And again, you can check the configuration once again, whether this line which we have configured, is it coming up in the configuration file or not.
Is it? It's do show run,
Yeah,
correct?
correct, correct. Okay, so here if you scroll down, hit the enter button slowly.
So the clock rate here, we have that. Um, I'm not seeing.
Have you configured some OSPF, or I think it is by default they have given?
That
Maybe.
OSPF is by default, so I haven't touched OSPF.
Okay. Okay. So this command we executed for step number 4. Okay. And you have already created, as you mentioned, you have done step 3. That is, you have already created IPS DIR in step 3, right?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Fine. So we are done with step 3, step 4, step 5 also. And in step 6, I think maybe you have done, but it is not perfectly done perfectly.
Yeah.
Okay. So in step 6, the first task was, if login console is enabled, IPS syslog message is displayed. Enable syslog if it is not enabled. That is the first 6A. So in order to enable a syslog, the command will be IP IPS notify space log. Okay, maybe I should give you the command in the chat box.
I said logging host timestamp, service timestamp, log timestamp.
Timestamp, that is, I think 6C. In 6C, the question was verify that the timestamp service for logging is enabled on the router using the show run command. So if you see that it is enabled, then it is okay. But as I can see, it is not enabled because it is written no. When it is no, that means it is not enabled, isn't it?
Yeah, but how? Where does it say no?
When you
Oh,
scroll up.
IP address here. That's the thing.
No,
Clock
I'm not talking
rate.
about the IP address. Scroll up a little bit more. Go to the top. Yeah, here, scroll up where there was timestamp. The line was mentioned timestamp. Yeah, see here, version 15.1. Can you see that line? Version 15.1. And after that, it is written no service timestamp, no service timestamp debug. Okay, so service timestamp has not been set. That's why it is showing no. Can you see that?
Okay.
Okay, so that's why I have come to the conclusion that you have not configured timestamp. So we need to do all the steps in step 6.
Okay.
So the first step was like enable the. So I have given you the command in the chat box to enable syslog if it is not enabled. So I have given the command in the chat box, which is IP space IPS notify space log to enable the system. So you can write, you can take your note in your notepad or copy whichever you are using, that this is the command to enable syslog.
So step 6 here. Step.
Step 6A.
Okay.
6A. So we are done with 6A. Now
Yes.
6B, the task is, if necessary, use the clock set command from privilege exit mode to reset the clock. So there was a command to check your clock setting, like what is your current timing in your system. Can you remember that command?
Clock some logging host
Like,
service.
what is your
Isn't it?
system time?
Isn't it clock something? No, it's clock.
There was a task I think we did in the last session, or maybe last to last session, where you were checking the clock time in your system. So just 1 minute.
I
Even, yeah. So these tasks that you are doing, the different labs that you are doing, you need to remember this command because maybe we are doing it successfully at the time of the lab. But if you do not practice, definitely you will forget all these commands.
Yeah.
So this is also a command that we need to remember how to check system time in a Cisco router or in a Cisco switch. So the command will be,
It wasn't it set clock or clock set something
yeah.
around the
So that was to set the time, but how to check your current system time? What is the current system time in the Cisco router?
Did you read it in the PPT?
No,
No,
it
in
was
your
just
today
how to
listing.
set the time.
Yeah, but how
So
do you check it? There
yeah,
should be a
because
way to check.
they
They should usually check, right?
yeah,
Go check your PPT. Go back and you're studying all the PowerPoints, right?
yeah.
Yeah,
You
I
should
think
have.
I think for this task also you should be having some PPT. Since
Yeah.
the previous task also you had some PPT, I think this should also have some PPT. We can definitely go directly into the lab, but it is better if you read the PPT first, so you will have a basic understanding what you are doing. Okay. Otherwise, we should discuss about the PPT and then we should start the lab. Otherwise, you will not understand what you are doing. Okay. So
So here would be the PPT for this. So here, um,
So here you can just do a search of timestamp, or you can just check the initial slides whether the timestamp or maybe
I
clock.
mean, this is images, so I don't think.
Okay. The simple command that was there was show clock. Can you run this command show clock in your router one R1?
Oh, shoot, look. Uh, yeah, no, it's not coming up. Shoot.
You are in global config, so you have to type do show clock. No,
Oh,
there was a typo error.
yeah, here.
Before clock, before show, there is a K. Delete that K. Yeah, now hit enter. So this is your, can you see, this is your current system time.
Yes.
So it is not perfect as it is mentioned in the task that check
Mhm.
whether it is perfect or not. If it is not perfect, then manually set the time. Okay, that is the task.
Mhm.
So, so that was 6B. So our 6B task is, if necessary, use the clock set command from privilege exit mode to reset the clock. So now you need to execute the clock set command. So depending on your current time zone and time, so maybe I can give you an example.
Yeah. So set clock.
Yeah,
Clock
it
set.
will be clock set. It is clock set, not set clock. Clock set, and then the current time in hours, then minute, then second, and then the date today, and then the month, and then space, then the year. So maybe I should give you the syntax just for
Hold on. Clock
hour,
set.
second.
No, no, no.
So here clock set. So isn't it day? Okay, so
I have given you
it's
the command in
second.
the chat box. It is clock set, and then what is the hour? Uh, as per your time zone, the hour, then colon minute, then colon second, and then whatever the date is, maybe it is in your place, it is 5th uh,
Yes.
November 2022.
Okay, so hour, minute, and then second, day, month, and year. Okay. Clock set. Hour. It is 9. So 09, and then minute here. I can pull it up here. Oh,
No, you have not written the entire command. You have to type in the entire command together.
yay. I get that. So 32. 33. 05. So NOV. And then 2022. So why is it saying, is clock set one word, or is it just, because it's giving some error message here.
Okay, maybe this November that you have written in caps, you should write in small, NOV in small caps, not in large caps. Yeah,
Oh,
NOV. Yeah.
no, it's saying under set, clock set.
Okay, again the thing is you are in global config mode, so you have to type do.
Okay, that's
Now
what
it
it
is
is.
okay because see, actually you shouldn't have executed this command in global config mode, because as per the task it is clearly mentioned that you should execute this in privilege exit mode. Can you read that in 6b?
Yes.
In 6b, it was clearly mentioned that use the clock set command in the privilege exit mode. So you should have executed this command in the privilege, that is in hash prompt, not in the global config mode. Okay. So
Okay.
since you have executed in global config mode, that's why I asked you to use the do command. But the real command is without the do,
Clock set.
and
Yeah.
yeah, clock set, and it should be in the privilege execute mode, that is in the hash prompt, not in this global config mode.
I didn't think I saw the hash. Or the privilege.
Yeah.
Ex-
So now
but
now check
yeah.
whether it has taken with the show clock command again. Do show clock, since you are in global config mode. Do show clock. If you are in privilege mode, then it should be show clock. So I think it is taken, isn't it?
Yes.
So it has taken. So that is the task for 6b. So we are done with 6b.
Yes.
Uh, okay, but one thing is you have written 9 as 9, but it is 9 p.m. there. So I think it will be 21. It is in 24 hours format, isn't it? 9 means 9 a.m. If it is 24 hours format, then it would be 21.
21. Hold on.
Delete the 0 also, it will be 21.
Yeah. Uh,
And then check it.
I think it's again the same issue here. Do clock set. Okay, so here let me show. Do show clock.
Now it's perfect. It is 9 p.m. Okay. Again, there is a command like do show clock details. That is an option. Do show clock details. If you want to see more details about your clock settings, you can type an additional option, details.
D
Do show clock
show
and
clock details. Um. Oh, the detail. Yeah, here.
Hit enter. Yeah, I think S should not be there. So it is showing you the times of time sources. So it is also giving you the details that it is not a by default system configuration which it has taken from some network NTP server. If you can
Here,
remember, there are
here.
network
Time
protocol
sources user
NTP
configure.
user
server, sir.
configuration. Okay. So we are done with 6B. Now 6C. So in 6C,
So,
yeah,
like you were saying before we go to 6C, isn't that time sources you from user configuration or something like that?
yeah, it
Is
is
that it's
showing,
not taken
yeah,
from
it is,
NTP server?
yeah, it is giving you the information that this time source is being configured by the user. It is not from a NTP server in the network. Okay, so that is the
Okay.
information it is giving.
Okay.
So definitely somebody, if he needs to check whether the system configuration is auto configured or has it been configured manually, so he can use this command to show clock details. Okay.
Okay. So that's what. And I think I got 6C log host 192, right?
In 6C, the task is verify that the timestamp service for logging is enabled on the router using the show run. So we have checked with show run, it was showing no timestamps. That means it is not enabled. So enable the timestamp service if it is not enabled. So to enable the timestamp service, do you know the command? What is the command to enable timestamp service?
So service timestamp log date time msec,
Yeah,
right?
so execute this command.
To service.
Again, you are in the global config mode. So if you are in the global config mode, you have to type do. Otherwise, you should be in the privilege mode and you should give the command without do.
Because I feel like I'm supposed to be in the config mode. Hold on, one service. timestamp timestamp.
Timestamps, there is a S after the B. Timestamps.
Okay, log date time msec. Why is it at the T timestamp? Service times?
Okay. Uh,
I
if you
think
if you delete the S, see what happens.
because it's at the timestamp, so I'm not
Uh,
sure. Oh, why is it? I'll run. Oh,
yeah, take your cursor to, yeah, delete this S and hit enter.
I think both are wrong. I think it is it.
Okay, sorry. This time, since we are configuring this, so you should be in the global config mode. You should not be in the privilege mode. The previous commands were mentioned to be like the clock set command was mentioned that you
I
should
think
be
so.
in
I
the
think so.
privilege mode, but this time it would be in the global config mode.
Mm, okay. Because I think we were doing for timestamps, right? Yeah, configuring
It's
the timestamp.
any configuration generally we do in global config mode only. Only certain commands like the clock set was being mentioned for privilege mode.
Yeah,
Otherwise, more.
for that's why I was like looking at it and saying, "Hey, this isn't right," because you were supposed to do because when you set the clock, you usually do it on the
Yeah. So this is we have done
yeah.
6C.
It takes
6C has been okay. You can check in show
yes.
run also. You can now run do show run.
Show run.
Yeah, I can see. Do not scroll. Do not scroll down.
Oh,
I can see in the top. Go to the top. Yeah, the where you run do show run from there only. Check.
wait, did I
Scroll.
go?
Yeah, just wait here. Wait here. See, after version 15.1, can you see the line?
15
Version 15.1. Yeah. So earlier, a few seconds back, a no was written, no service
Yeah.
timestamp.
Yes,
So
that.
now it has disappeared. Okay. So now service timestamp is configured. We can
But
verify.
what is that no service timestamp debug date time no and versus service timestamp? Is there a different command to that?
Yeah, if somebody wants to enable some debugging like checking with the current system time with some NTP server or something, so then they need to enable the service timestamp debug this command. So I think for your task, they have not mentioned this to enable. If it is required, then definitely you need to enable that command also, the second one. Okay.
Okay. Because
So
I was probably looking at that one and saying, hey, that was off.
Even if you, yeah, even if you look in both of this, I saw both of them were having no in the initial character was no. So that means none of them was configured. Okay. But since you have configured the timestamp, the no has disappeared. That means the timestamp has been configured rightfully. So
Oh,
whatever you have done, you can save it with do WR and then we can move ahead with 6D.
WR. Okay. Uh, so 60, I think, was logging the host,
So
correct?
the task, yeah.
Yeah.
So the task is send all the log message to the syslog. So do you know what is a syslog server?
So the syslog server isn't that the all the logs with the all like managing the logs,
Okay. So if I ask you what is a log, what do you know
the, rec-
about a log?
the records of who did what kind of
Okay.
thing.
So log file is definitely a record file, a record keeping
Yeah.
file of system events or maybe any attack
Not
is
even
happening on any system somebody is trying to gain access. So anything related to system events or user events. So everything is captured in a log file. Every digital device have a log file, even our desktop laptop. They also have some logging feature. In Windows operating system, we have logging feature. So here we are working with the Cisco router. So this log feature, I think there is a log server in the diagram as it has been shown. So
yeah
this
here.
server PT, that is the syslog server, and it is configured as a syslog server which will collect the log messages from different networking devices. The reason is, why do we keep a log server? Now this could be a question, that why do we keep a log server in the network, syslog server?
So we keep that because we need to see what is going on. So if, like you mentioned, if there was a network attack, we can see what source who is coming from. Is it spoofing and how to avoid the network attack? And
Okay.
also, basically, it's like a who did what.
The thing is, you do not need a syslog server to see who is doing what in your system. It is not required. Syslog server is not a mandatory thing. It is not a mandatory server that you need to set up. To see who is logging into your system at what time, it is visible in the system only. You do not need any additional server in the network.
This
First,
is from outside network, is what I'm trying to
now
get
it
at.
just try to understand the thing. The server, a syslog server, has been set up to dump all the log files, because otherwise, if the log files which are present in the system, in your desktop, in your laptop, in your Cisco router, if they continue to get dumped in your NVRAM or maybe in your flash, so the space, there will not be any empty space anymore, because the log file size increases with time. The more you keep your device on and more you do activity on your system, so the log file continues to record all the activity, and the log file size, which was maybe in the morning it was only 200 KB, in the evening it may become 200 MB also. Okay. And if your
Ah,
system, if your system runs for 24 into 7, so definitely you can understand at the end of the week maybe the log file size will be 1 GB or maybe 2 GB or something. which
Oh, okay. So
cannot
it's
be.
basically a recycle bin then, basically.
It is
What
not a recycle bin, it is just a storehouse of all the log files from
is
different
okay.
network devices, because in the device itself, we can definitely see whoever is coming, what is happening in the system. But since the devices have a limited number of memory, limited amount of memory, like Cisco router also have a memory, but that is a limited, maybe 2 GB RAM or maybe 4 GB RAM. So it is a limited amount of memory. It cannot hold so many data for 1 month or 6 months or so. So in enterprises, in big enterprises, we sometimes need to check a log for last 6 months for some data analysis or something. So for that reason,
Okay.
we need to have a syslog server.
Backup.
Dump
Okay.
all the file for last 6 months or maybe 1 year or maybe more than that. Okay.
Okay. All right.
So coming back to uh, 6D. So in 6D, the task is send log messages to the syslog server. So this is the configuration which we need to do in the router, so that the router save the log file in the syslog server instead of saving it in its own RAM or NVRAM or flash. It should send it through the network to the syslog server. It should dump the log file in the syslog server. So this is the task.
Being host, is
And
that
then,
correct?
yeah, logging host and then space and then assign the mention the IP address of the syslog server.
It's not. So 192.168.1.50. How can we see that?
Click on the settings,
Oh,
uh,
hold on.
yeah. Or maybe, yeah, if you keep here, so you can see 1.50, it is shown there. Fast Ethernet 0 is 192.168.1.50. Port,
Where
the,
I'm seeing port link address.
yeah,
Here, 50.
1.50.
So that's what I'm doing here. I'm getting that.
Okay, so it is done, you have set. So we are done with 6D also.
Okay.
So your score has increased into 63% till now.
Yes.
Now the next task is 7, step 7. So in step 7, I think there are many things we need to do. So in step 7, it is mentioned retire the all signature category with the retired true command. All signatures within the signature release. Unretire the iOS IPS basic category with the retired false command. Okay, so you have the PowerPoint presentation for this one. I think you have the PowerPoint presentation, right?
Signatures, I don't have that. That I don't have um here. So it would be minor tags. Detect spotted tags here. Um,
Yeah, I think this IPS is there. So I think in this same slide, there should be something you can search retire, the word retire. What is retire?
only 1 out of 4 on. Oh, I'm seeing retiring a signature means iOS.
Okay. So here, enable iOS and any textual data, any definition or explanation.
1 out of 4. So here retiring in here unretired signatures.
So as like when we started our task, there was a task where you were being asked to create a directory in the flash memory, and you have been asked to assign some name, IPS dir, and all the signatures were stored there. Now, what are all these signatures about? So basically, so do you know what is a signature in when we talk about signature in the context of IT? What is signature?
Isn't it like okay, this is a or like packet?
Yeah, this is signature is something which deals with it may have some packet information like the protocol or the source IP, destination IP, in which service that a packet is trying to gain access. So all these information are stored in a file which is called a signature file. And the signature file, like in an antivirus also we have a signature file. Like how the antivirus software works, basically the antivirus software does have a signature database, and in that signature database it has many codes, or you can say many syntax or commands, or many information about uh, different packets. So when we have an antivirus system installed in our PC, in our desktop or laptop, and we plug in some pen drive, or maybe we are downloading something from the internet. So if that file has a component which is matching with the database of the antivirus software, so immediately it gives us notification that there is a virus in this file. Do not open this. So how it is identifying? Because of the signature database. Okay, because the signature database holds information about virus files or threats. So similarly, in this IPS technology, in this IPS also, intrusion prevention system also, it also have a signature database. So there could be certain signatures which maybe are obsolete nowadays, so you need to retire them. So these commands they have given here in the slide, like retiring an individual signature. So you have to enter into the config terminal, and then IPS signature definition, then signature. So every signature has a ID number. Okay, this is also a vital point, since signature file is a collection of different signatures, different threats or vulnerabilities. So every threat or vulnerability does have ID number, has identification number. So here, as in the slide, I can see they are mentioning signature 6130. That is the ID number of the signature, and then space 10, and then status, and then retired true, exit. So they have exited from that. Do you want to accept these changes? So yes, so that means you are retiring this particular signature. So retired true is the command by which you retire a particular signature. Okay,
So
so
IPS signature. So we have signature here.
All the time.
signature hyphen definition, it should be together. There should not be any space.
You all ready?
Oh,
You all ready for the next week thing?
J-O-N, and then here,
So
that's
as
what.
soon as that saving
So
done,
we
you get
have
it.
something.
That's all.
If I go
Yeah,
back
but you're very
here,
interested.
and I think we're
In the
using
calls.
204, 2004. So here, so
Okay.
signature.
Okay. So here they have mentioned like change the event action of a signature, unretire, the
Here,
ignore reverse.
204, and then 0. So the sub, I think sub sig ID, what is that? That's the I. That's not the signature ID. That's a different.
You can see it's written in the bracket. The signature has a ID 2004, and it has a sub signature ID. Okay,
All right.
so this is the pattern by which they create the database. So one is a signature ID, and within that signature there could be a sub signature ID which is 0. So in your case, it is a 0. Yeah, and then so you can check the slide. The commands are given one after another.
Yeah.
So
Here.
maybe status. You can type status to check uh, the status of this signature. Okay.
So then retire, and we have to make it false, right?
Yeah, if you are making it untrue, then it should be
False. But the thing is, it's saying enable true. That's the thing. Retire false, enable true.
so you are doing part two. So there it will be retired false, and then uh, see, you have changed the signature as it has been mentioned. Change the signature action to alert and drop. Okay. So the first is unretire the echo request signature. So to unretire the command was retired false. That is perfect. Retired false is
Yes.
unretire the echo request signature. And second part it is written in comma enable it. Can you see that after the bracket it is written enable it?
Yes.
So that's why the next command is enabled true. Okay.
Oh, so it has
So
nothing to do with so it's just saying you have to set it to false, correct?
yeah,
So
so whatever
yes.
configuration we have done, we are enabling it. We are enabling it to work right now. So that is enable it. So enable true. Okay. One part is configuration, another part is implementing it or enabling it right now so that it can start working from this time.
Okay.
And then I think and change the signature action to alert and drop. So I think in that slide you might get a command event action, something like that. Change the signature action to alert and drop. So the command will be event action, then space produce alert.
So okay. So here, okay. So I'm getting engine for some reason EGINE, and then um from here that's where I'm getting event. So what is that engine thing?
Okay, we are jumping from one step to another step. We were actually doing 7, isn't it?
Yeah, that
6.
this is 7. We're in 7.
Just 1 minute. We started step 7, but we are
Correct.
currently doing part 2. We are not in step 7 anymore. We are currently in part 2, step 1. We just completed part 2, step 1. But still there is something left in part 2, step 1. So I think we should first complete the step 7 which we started.
We did false command all signature. We tried true.
Okay, this one no, this
We have done.
that you have done retired false and enable true. This was part 2 step 1. This you have done
Okay.
as per part 2 step 1. So we need to go back to step 7.
Okay.
So in step 7, it was written retire the all signature category. Retire the all signature category with the retire true command. So in order to retire all signature category, the first command that you need to execute is IP space IPS space signature category. I think it is there in your PowerPoint slide also.
Yeah, I have it here. That's where I think we left off here. That is 7, step 7. Correct. Okay.
Okay.
I have the command here. That's what I thought I did, but doesn't look like I.
But let me tell you something. When you are executing a command, check the left-hand side command prompt. You are currently in some other login prompt. You are not in the global config mode. You are in some sub-config mode like config side of which you have enabled, I think. So you
Oh,
first exit from this mode. Go
yes.
to global config mode only. Exit once again. Yeah. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. So that is done. Now you are in the global config mode. Now you can enable that command IP space IPS signature category.
Okay. C-A-T-R-E. C-A-T.
Signature category should be together. Signature hyphen category. It is a single word, and there should not be any space. Signature hyphen category. If you are tired of writing, you can type SIGN and hit the tab key from your keyboard, so it will take up the command.
So the only thing is, I'm just worried about that this one because last time I did that, the tab key
Yeah,
did not work.
yeah.
So
Sometimes we may have a typo error. So if you have the option to hit the tab key, hit the tab key and it will give you the right command, because sometimes during typing the command, maybe we have a typo error. So anyway, so this was the command, but as it is mentioned, retire the all signature category. To retire all, the next command is category space all.
so
Hit enter.
here, and
Yeah,
then retire true. So
correct.
R-I-R-E-E-D.
There is a typo error again. The spelling will be retired.
So
R E. It is not R I. R E. Yeah.
oh, oh my god. T-I-R-E-T-R-U-E.
So once you are done, you have to come out from this login prompt, which is IPS category action. So you need to type exit to come out from this command prompt.
Yes.
So as it was mentioned, that retire the all signature category with the retire true. So that we have done. In the bracket, it was written all signatures within the signature release. Now the next line was unretire the iOS IPS basic category with the retired false command.
So here we have category iOS, and then we have underscore IPS, and then basic, right?
Yeah, to do that, it is category space. You have to mention the category that they have given in the task iOS underscore IPS space basic.
And then Retire
False.
here, and then
Ex-
exit. So we're here.
exit once again.
Oh,
Save it with, you can hit enter, that will also save, or you can type yes.
okay, so that was step 8, right? Yeah.
Okay. So you can save. Okay, do WR, you have done this. So we have completed step 7. Step 7 is completed.
Yes.
Now uh, we have one more step in part 1, which is step 8.
Hmm.
So as
Here.
per step 8, it is written apply the IPS rule to an interface with the IPS name direction command. So they have given you the hint of the command also. Apply the IPS rule on an interface with this command in
Hint
interface configuration mode. Apply the,
G01.
okay, so they have also mentioned the interface gig 0 by 1 in R.
Yes.
After you enable IPS, some log messages will be sent to the console line indicating that the IPS engines are being initialized. That means they are working. So there is a note. The direction means that IPS inspects only traffic going into the interface. Similarly, out means the IPS inspects only traffic going out of the interface. Okay, fine. So this is, I think, only two-line command that you need to execute. First, you have to enter into gig 0 by 1.
which we have done.
Okay, and then you have to enable IP IPS, IOS IPS, and then they have mentioned apply the rule outbound. You have to focus on that point. Apply the rule
Yeah, but
outbound.
it's giving incomplete command here.
Correct,
How's
correct, correct, correct. The reason is after IOS IPS, give a space and write out.
okay?
Yeah, now hit it. So now it has taken the command. Okay. So as in the task, it was mentioned, apply the rule outbound. That's why you need to use the option out. If they have mentioned inbound, then you should have used the option in.
Okay,
So
so I thought it would be this one IPS out, but I said IPS iOS IPS out.
yeah,
So
because
correct?
yeah, that is correct. The reason is this is the name of that particular uh, direction, iOS IPS. Okay, so since in the previous commands also we have used this iOS IPS, so this needs to be mentioned here: IP space IPS space iOS IPS, then space, and then out.
Ah, okay, so the name should be given. So
Yeah,
IPS,
yeah,
IPS, and then the name,
name.
and then the out. Okay,
So the
because
direction.
I had a different command saying IPS, and then out. So I didn't know. Is that I was
But here they have clearly mentioned that the command will be IP space IPS space name and then the direction. So,
okay.
so these things differ a little bit sometimes. It's not that the document that you are having it is telling you something wrong. The reason is, as you must have understood that like our operating system upgrades with time. The Windows operating system
Yes.
upgrades with time. Similarly, Cisco iOS also upgrades with time. So maybe the document that you are having, it is focusing on a particular Cisco iOS version, and there they may not need the name syntax, but this document
Okay.
which is written, it is based on a particular Cisco iOS version, operating system version, where we need the name syntax. So this is the reason why sometimes certain commands do not work and certain commands need some additional option. Okay, because the iOS version is continuously getting upgraded with latest models of routers and switches. Okay,
Okay.
so we are done with step 8. So then we need to focus on part 2. So would you so do you have some due date or something for this?
We have till yeah, we have at the end of Wednesday 23.
Okay.
So I
So
think
so would you
yeah,
like to continue further, or would you try it by yourself? If you want to continue further, we can continue.
we can continue further. Yeah.
So the next part is part 2, modify signature. So we have done a little bit of the part 2 a few seconds back. Okay.
Yes.
So till now you have done the retired false, enable true, exit that part in the part 2 step 1. But there was a part which said change the signature action to alert and drop, that you have not done. Okay, change
Yes.
the signature action alert and drop. So in your slide you can check what is the command, or otherwise I can give you the command also.
So I think we have to go through engine,
Yeah.
but there's something we have in the IOB. I how do we get back into the? Hold on. So we have to
Okay,
go.
first exit from this interface. The previous command we have done, exit from here. Go to global config mode. Type exit.
Yes. So here we can type in exit, correct,
So you
and
are in
then
global config mode back, and then you
signature
have to
category.
No, signature, yeah, the signature space, in your case, it will be 2004 space 0.
Hold on. That's what I'm trying to see. Hold on. Yeah, from where we are, I'm trying to see how we can see here. From here, don't we have to do signature definition? Copy this because it is another
Okay,
something.
okay. So you are taking a note in a file, something, right?
Yeah.
See, signature definition, the command that you have executed. Okay, so that was we have already done IP space IPS. IP, then yeah, IPS, then signature definition.
Oh, did I take it from somewhere else with a copy?
IP space IPS, then signature definition.
Okay, IPS. That's
You
what
have you should give a space after IPS.
the space.
IPS, yeah.
There we
Now
go.
stick. Okay,
Now we
uh,
can come back and say signature.
correct.
Signature.
Space. There should not be any hyphen definition. The command is signature space, then specify the signature ID that they have mentioned in the task, that is 2004, and then give a space and specify the sub signature ID, which is 0.
My bad. Because I'm looking at the other command. Okay.
Okay.
And then we have status,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, status. So you will be in the status. You will see that the command prompt will change. Your command prompt
Change.
now is in the status. Yeah.
Right.
So now they asked you to make it false, retired, untrue, unretire. That was the task. Unretire the echo request signature.
So retire
False.
false. And then we have to enable that command. So we have
Correct.
to
Enabled true.
enable true.
Enabled, I think there will be a D. Enabled.
I have enable.
Okay, hit enter. Hit enter. Okay, so it has taken.
I I
Sometimes,
think this is version. I
yeah,
think you were my.
yeah.
And then I'm
So
getting the command engine. So
no,
I don't
you
know
are
why
currently
this.
you are currently in the status login. Exit from that. You have to type exit. Okay, okay, just 1 minute. Okay. Uh, so you are in status. You typed engine there.
Which is interesting. That's what.
See, the engine command should not be executed in the status mode. You are doing something wrong. You are currently in the signature engine. Okay. Anyway, you have come to signature engine, but
Yeah.
the process was you should
So I should
mount
have
from
done
the
exit,
status.
exit, and
Yeah,
then
exit.
it's sig, and then sig engine. It should not be in this. Okay,
Yeah.
right.
So first you should have exited from the status login, and then you should be back in the signature, this one, side F signature. And once you are in the signature login, then you should type engine. Okay.
Okay,
But what you
that's.
have done is
I,
you have written the engine in the status, but I think it is
I think
should
it's a version of like you were
be
saying, different versions, different
side
things.
if signature engine. Okay, fine. So it is currently in the signature engine. So here, do you know the command to enable the notification alert and drop?
I think we reached 100 here, but isn't event action produce alert? So if there's a threat, it will give out an alert, and then event action is deny packet inline.
Yeah. So we are yet to complete the packet, but we have reached 100%. So how it has done? I think your professor has edited something in the file, maybe.
Yeah, but event action. This is the question I have. So the inline of deny packet inline, um, that's what I'm not getting. So would it deny the ones that went in, or is it coming out at
Are
the
you
file?
talking about this step part two, step one?
The event action.
Okay, event action. First thing is you have to enable the alert. To enable the alert, the command is event action produce alert.
Introduce alert. That is
Okay,
that. And then
that
there's
is
event action deny packet inline to drop.
to alert and drop. So in order to drop, the command will be event action deny packet inline. So inline is
So
definitely,
yeah,
yeah, go ahead. What is your question?
that's I think you were getting to that. I
Yeah,
think you
so the
asked.
thing is, inline is something, any packet which is coming into the router interface. Okay, so any packet which is coming into the interface, so that packet will be denied. That is event action deny packet inline. Okay, so
Okay.
that is the command to deny packet. So these are two commands which you need to execute there.
Okay. I'm gonna save it and we can end the class. Uh, so yeah,
So
I'll
we are with